morning, world. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. No lies here. It is going to be a gorgeous day. It's also cold, which is actually what's adding to the beauty. Like to be able to put on the old dad cardigan. Love it. Well, one thing that I was seeing very clearly just moments ago, I wasn't sure where we were going to go with this. I had a few ideas of what I wanted to talk about, but we'll keep it light. But yeah, moments ago, as I was getting the extra deck, I don't know if you guys do this, but whether it be pets, babies, and even lovers, when you just kiss, you just grab the snout, the cheeks, and you just give a lot of kisses. You know that when you have to clench, when you love something or someone so much that you're clenching your teeth and it's just like a lot of kisses? Yeah, it doesn't have to be romantic, but it is very loving. Now, again, I know we were talking a lot about yesterday, like grandparents or like loved ones on the other side overseeing, but I feel like someone around you just loves you. Again, not contingent upon sexiness. It may be sexy, but in this moment, it's just like, I just want to give you a billion kisses. Okay, well, man, I had the best sleep last night. And I slept in a different direction. If you're having trouble sleeping, I mean, in Feng Shui, direction is important. Some people say that you should sleep with your head east, with your feet west. Again, you gotta, oh, you know what? Spirit did want to talk about this. I was gonna save it for a different reading, but it kind of ties in. Basically, Spirit wanted you to ask yourself, like, are you seeing the results that you want to see? And that ties into everything. But going to things like this, like with directional, like, yeah, there's a lot of advice all over the place. A lot of advice. People have a lot of opinions. People have their own experiences. At the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself, am I seeing the results? It's kind of like science and magic, but you're always asking yourself, okay, I tried, here's the formula. Time has passed. Am I seeing the results that I wanted to see? Anyway, food for thought. But yeah, going back to sleeping, so some people really say the direction for your head and feet is east to west. Dreaming for me is a big part of my medicine. I receive a lot in my dreams. For many years, my dreaming has not been my biggest medicine. And anyway, so I just randomly, it was actually because of Bonita Fajita. We were watching some movies on the couch, and she's taking up space, so I ended up flipping directions. And then I ended up falling asleep while watching the movie, but what I realized when I woke up to get off the couch after that nap was that I was like, oh, I dreamt. So for me, a lot of my life is kind of, I'm not saying that I am, and this isn't from my culture, but the Heyoka, like kind of a backwards approach. And that kind of, for me, has been kind of true, is that what works for a lot of people, I'm like the opposite. So there might be something here about asking yourself about results. Are you seeing the results that you want? Are you asking a lot of people for a certain type of advice, and they're giving expertise that maybe has worked for billions of people, and maybe it's just not working for you because it's just not, what would be the word? Constitution. What works for one person or millions may not be, and we really are a social creature. We tend to look for pure results. So don't be afraid if something isn't working and everyone's like, no, this is the way, especially in goddamn magical, woo, spiritual communities. Again, test. That's why I love Buddhism. I really do. It's one of the first features, amongst other things, that really grabbed me. I love that part of their philosophy is that, like, don't take our word at face value, apply it. Yeah, there's something here about application and then seeing, does this work? Science and magic literally do the same things, they just call it different things, but essentially you're asking yourself, you're looking at the formula and asking, okay, what can I tangibly see? What has come from this? And do we need to go back to the drawing board? Okay. So we have someone who wants to give you a million kisses on the cheeks. What are these two little cards that popped out here? Oh yeah, see the mental confusion. Oh, I didn't realize that this is the Ouroboros, the snake that eats its tail. But what's interesting is that actually, he's just kind of nibbling on the tip. He's not full mouth gobbling the tail. Well, that's a bit more productive, isn't it? Yeah, something about eating your own tail and being like, is this the result that I want? Being hungry. Ah, being hungry, you're desiring something. You desire something and you're not getting the results that you want because something isn't working. And a lot of times, desire creates an urgency. Same with scarcity mindset. Any of those, it can really help sway us into making decisions that, again, are not going to bring us the results. Like that hungry snake, like, I'm sorry, my guy, hate to break it to you, hate to be the bearer of bad news, snake, but as soon as you start to devour your own tail, it's kind of game over. You may be hungry, but the solution is not in eating your tail. Okay. Now, the great news, though, is that this seems to be coming to an end. The world isn't ending, so congratulations. That's nice. How's everyone doing out there? How's everyone doing? Okay, so we have this. Okay, so we're gonna, hold on. Oh, and then, yeah. Let's put this down over here. All my plants and flowers now are taking over this very tiny tabla. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so what's the next card in this? Okay, next card. Oh, good. So 3 of Pentacles. So there must be something here about collaborating. Excuse me. Yeah, because he's solo in this. Well, we see this man with some blood here. This is always the grimmest one. This to me is always, like, to be honest, indicative of suicide. When you believe, again, the little dogs of addiction, the little voices of demons, fear, the mind can be a tricky place. You have to stay on top of it. You have to be willing to ask yourself questions, just like a scientist and just like a true magi. A lot of people on the internet these days, I call them my dollar store magicians. It's really 2-bit magic. Not a lot of discipline, using a lot of people's cheap-ass spells that, again, created on TikTok with very little understanding and working by themselves in a very quick and inefficient manner to try to get a result. I don't know, there's something here about solo thinking, not getting results, but I'm seeing this as like collaboration. To be honest, maybe it's therapy. Different experts. Yeah, there's something here that you've been in a loop in, because this is a loop. And it hasn't been working for you. So what is that? That's the question today. And I feel as though Spirit started the message. I think it's Spirit or your ancestors giving you a bunch of kisses right now to be like, this message isn't meant to be harsh, but we can see that something, you're in a loop. You're going round and round and round, and you can stay in that loop. There is no judgment. Like, my experience of the Spirit team, human beings, going back to omniscience, you have to hold up the receipt. What do you believe Spirit is? Either he's omniscient and all-loving and all-knowing, and performing miracles and loves you to pieces, or have we just placed our human characteristics, judgy, inaccurate? Okay. Because see, we go from one loop to 3 new loops, or something, like options. It's collaborative, it's creative. Maybe this is actually working with your spirit team. You know, I tell a lot of my clients this. I love doing tarot for myself and for other people, but even for myself. This winter, I'd done a video, but I was like, I gotta step away from tarot, A, for myself, but from doing readings for a bit. And I tell people, I'm like, when you dissipate, when you're going around and asking a lot of people for opinions or advice or seeking counsel, I tell people, at the end of the day, it should just be your bare ass and spirit. If you're really confused and you don't know, go directly to source. Always deduce things to its simplest form. Like, don't take my advice. Like, at the end of the day, anyone's advice, the only person, and if you feel like you don't know how to receive, like if you feel like you don't know how to talk to spirit, or that spirit's not talking to you, then I would really, that should be your work. Because spirit, whatever that looks like for you, God, Jesus, again, Allah, Jehovah, whoever you pray to, it is right here. They will talk to you, but it's like learning a language. It's no different than me learning French, Quebecois French, no less. Very different from Parisian or Acadian. Everything takes discipline. There's always going to be shortcuts, but again, shortcuts don't lead to the results that you want to see. Okay, spirit. I thought we were, yeah, now we're off and drifted. Yeah, exactly. Queen of Swords to death. There's something here about observing. I've said it a million times, I'll say it again. Everything that you need to know, all information, all truth, is literally right here. Everything is communicating from our body, you know, like when you, like the iridology science, when you can like look at the iris and the eye and like you can learn all about the body through that. Your skin tells you everything, like the plants tell it, like everything is communicating. And when you take the time to quietly observe, now see, she's in repose, she's relaxed. It's not based off of conditions, because again, conditions, she's sitting on an uncomfortable, what could be uncomfortable, uncomfortable truths. She's not afraid to sit on uncomfortable truths because she lives for the truth. So maybe this is part of the thing, is like asking yourself, what is it that I want to hear versus the truth? And maybe that's part of the loop, is that you really just have an expectation, or you just want to hear a certain thing, and that's why you're not getting the result. Oh, hate to be the bearer of bad news. Don't take it out on me. Well, do whatever you want, but I don't really care. So, Jesus. So everyone fears endings. Everyone fears the truth. This is what I've personally learned about the world, and even including myself. It's not like I'm not part of this message. We all do it, you know? I'm always asking myself and checking in to be like, and I catch myself, that's the thing with observation. Like the other day, I got all steamed up about, again, I was judging someone. I was getting a little bit very judgy, had an emotional response to it, but I took the time to pause, get calm, and ask myself, well, actually, Spirit showed me. So I did. I got calm, and Spirit showed me a moment where I had done the exact same fucking thing. And I was like, touche. So again, going back to everything will tell you everything, your reactions are also a clue for you. You know? If you immediately hear something and then your response is to be like, again, unsubscribe, unfollow, or to cut someone out of your life, or this, that, and the other, like if it's a very instant reaction, when I get very reactionary, And sometimes it is appropriate for me to have that response. It is actually, in the end, a response because someone has done something maybe untenable. But 99% of the time, there is something truthful there. There's something for me to look at. So now I know when I get really spice level 9,000, I have to take the emotion out of it. I have to center myself and then just observe neutrally. And that's part of, we don't talk about this in the magical communities, but it's about really a neutral observation. Because if it's about, at the end, if you're really actually looking for a certain result and you're not receiving it, and there's a million reasons and probabilities as to why that is, again, if you're mastering yourself, and a magi is someone who's mastering, and has definitely mastered a lot of elements, you gotta be willing to face truth. Otherwise, you're just gonna be a snake that's eating its tail. So you gotta ask yourself, do I actually want the results? Do I actually want the truth? And that's the fun part of the truth, is that you can at least be honest and be like, you know what? I actually don't want to hear the truth right now. Fuck it. I've been there. I've totally been like, la la la, spirit. It's not what I want to fucking hear right now. Fuck you. But then invariably what happens, at least in my own experiences, you get tired of nothing changes if nothing changes. It's the same shit every single day, maybe just a different person, place, or a thing. But if you're getting the same message, you're not getting the result that you want. You have to ask yourself, and you're part of the equation, so what is it? But there's nothing to fear. The truth, as they say, and it will, the truth will set you free. It may be painful, but still the result is going to be, it's going to be worth it. And I always say I would rather know the truth than not know the truth. Me personally. Setting you free. She looks like a mysterious and maybe a mean mistress, but really what's behind it is freedom. And again, Spirit here wants to give you smoochies. It's not meant to be terrible. It's meant to be supportive and uplifting. But the universe can't conspire with you if you aren't willing to actually be willing to see everything. She's got a high vantage point. And again, the truth isn't meant to serve her. The truth isn't meant to make you comfortable. Yes, here we go. But it was upside down, so we're back to that Eight of Swords. So, okay, so you are going to set yourself free. You're going to see the illusions. There's something here that's very illusory, because we see it in that Five of Swords. That's your energy right now. And with the other Five of Swords in other decks, it's about someone doing mental fuckery to other people. This is you. This is your own mental fuckery. You see it in the Eight of Swords. It's confirmed, but it's reversed, so you're coming out of it. And it's underneath that Three of Pentacles. So there is something here about some type of collaboration. I see it as you working with spirit. Yeah, take that bare bum bum. You don't need crystals. You don't even need incense. Literally. It's great to have these things. Don't doubt the process. Everything, God doesn't care. These things can help. It's about your heart and your intention. Go stand somewhere, lay in your bed, put a hand over your heart, close your eyes, get honest, talk to God. If you have doubts, if you don't know what's what, or you don't believe what people are telling you, go straight to source. Exactly, and you'll be successful. Look, everyone's got their hands in the air. That's your spirit team. See? Ugh. See, it's not a snake eating the tail, it's the wreath of success. Beautiful. Okay, so, Spirit. Yeah. And then it's about, because part of it is you're chasing. When you're in a chasing energy, and that goes back again to, there's a lot of talk about magic and science here. Again, the two worlds, but they're both very similar, two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. Exactly. When you're when you're creating something, whether again it's in science or magic, the energy of, we'll use more magical terms, but people love to talk about manifestation, but I call it more creating. When you're creating the world that you want, the conditions, there's a point where you're the emperor. So it's the masculine. You're putting it out there. You're taking a bit of decisive action, but it can't be all that. You have to then step back, and that's why you'll hear in every magical form, you look at it directly, you put it out there, and then you have to turn away. You really let it go. Now, Spirit had brought this up a while ago. You're not gonna like this. I can already hear the unsubscriptions. It's fine. Again, it's about the truth. Either you want to hear the truth or you don't. But if we look at the modality of tarot, traditionally, historically, back in the day, it would be kind of a one-time thing. There'd be something so kind of confusing for a person that you'd be like, I need to go to the oracle. I need to go to someone who's either psychic or uses tarot. You pay for a service, and you're probably once in a year, maybe twice in a year, and that would be it. And what Spirit pointed out a few months ago was that with YouTube, and with there being a million YouTube readers, with anything, people are using YouTube tarot card channels. It's addiction. You're just gobbling up readings, and that's fine. I've done it. There's no judgment here, but it's again about desired results. So there's nothing wrong with asking and getting excited, especially around love. We all do it. But here's the thing, going back to creating, when you're asking a question repeatedly, it also means that A, for one, you don't believe. If you have to keep repeatedly asking the same question, who is this person? When is it coming? Blah, blah, blah. For one, just the act itself, you're dissipating the power because there's no trust and faith in that. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you know and believe it to be coming towards you, you can ask once, and then you let it go, and you know and you have trust and faith. You've heard the message. Because you've intentionally, hopefully intentionally set out to be like, I'm going to go to this reader, you know, and going back to the addiction, what Spirit was pointing out is because YouTube, you don't have to pay for it. You don't even have to pay for these readings. You can sit all day and watch 20,000 readings back to back and just feed. Again, it is the snake in the tail. In Vedic astrology, there's placements Rahu and Ketu. And so Rahu is the head of either the snake, the monster, people refer to it as, but it has no body, so there's no stomach. It's just gobbling and gobbling and gobbling. It never ends. So there's been a lot of action, but this is about the receiving. So when you have trust and faith with your spirit team and what you've put out there to be like, you know what, I've talked to my spirit team, I've put out what it is that I want, whether it be a relationship, a job, whatever that looks like. And now I'm just gonna sit back and relax and literally focus on anything else. You have to put that space in between the oneness. I've manifested some crazy shit in my life, like intentionally, like really specific things. And it usually takes, I've got it down to a real science. There's a blast of energy of putting it forward where I know exactly what I want. And there's always a point where right before I get it, for one, you're gonna get something that looks almost like it. It's the universe to be like, are you gonna hold fast to what you actually want, or are you willing to settle for less? And then the other thing is just that you let it go. You put it out, you let it go, and you literally focus on anything else other than that thing. It's a dance. You come back and forth to it. You put it out there, you focus energy out, and then you lay back and you literally look in any other direction you are not to focus on. You have to give it breathing room. Spirit likes to talk about the micromanagement kind of, you know, if you're watching something, no one likes a micromanaging manager. We've all had them. You know, when someone's like over your shoulder watching you work and you're like, my guy, we're all gonna be more productive if you can get the fuck out of here. We know this to be true. Yeah. But see, she does receive, because she's abundant. Look at that, she has the whole world. She's got a school of fish, she's got moons. Like, she is, like, the solar system here. Not the solar system, but she's of bigger realms. And she looks great, she looks happy. She's receiving. Well, we're back to the Two of Swords. You gotta make a decision. You're not willing to look at something. There's truth or truths that you're not willing to look at. So until you're willing to actually look at the truth of something, you're just gonna stay in this loop. Like this is really like look at these cards. It's all bird action. You know, and like I said, this is like suicidal ideation. Like, you're driving yourself to the point of kind of a mental health crisis, to be honest, because you're not getting the thing. Like, you're obsessing on something and it's not working. So again, it's like, I don't know. I did say, I mean, I see you working with spirit, but to be honest, like, I love therapy. I can't recommend it enough. It's great to have something outside of your head, because again, when you're alone in here, this tower, it gets really weird really fast, and we can believe a lot of things that just are not so. And therapy may not also be the thing, but it's good to at least have something outside of yourself to bounce it off of. And it might bounce back and you're like, you know what, I had this one right. But you won't know until you put that out there to be like, huh. And your biggest clues are, the thing that you're not willing to look at is like really where the success is gonna lie. Yeah. See? The two energies. It's that confidence too. Be confident. Even if it's just the truth of trust and faith. Oh man, those are the two I have grappled with my whole life. And I'm locked in with spirit. And they're endless, day to day. So many things that I can slip into not having faith and trust, and then it's shown to me. None of the things that I'm saying right now are things that they all apply to me or have applied to me. It's a human condition. So I'm never gonna say anything that does not or has not applied to myself. And I'm not working on the daily. Have I watched a million YouTube tarot card readings? Yes, of course. You know, like, and yeah, like, I'll pull cards for myself in regards to guidance. And now here's an interesting thing, guidance versus wanting to know an end result. Like, for instance, the pendulum doesn't work for me anymore unless I use it for specific physical, energetic healings for people, for clients, because I abused it. I abused that modality, and the spirit, whatever that thing is, doesn't like me anymore, because in my teens, 20s, and early 30s, I was getting all cuckoo-manuku on people that I was desiring and hoping that, you know, and I was just asking repeatedly the same goddamn questions. That's the other thing. If you ask a question and you get an answer and then you keep asking the same question, your spirit team's gonna be like, what the fuck, my guy? Okay, well, spirit, anything else you wanna throw out here? Oh yeah, that's what I suspected. You don't like this message. Oh, don't know what to tell you. That's the thing, when you're willing to look, you can have the 10 of Cups. All of us can. It's just about self-honesty, honesty with others. I was listening to, what's her name? Her name's Kate Writes something on Instagram. Oh, I love her. She's hilarious. Oh, she cracks me right the fuck up. But she was talking about values. You know, the things that we talk about, lip service, the things that we value. And it's kind of like basically like holding up the receipts. We say we value these things, but how is our life a demonstration of those things? How can we say that we value our health? She had this one example. How can we go around saying we value our health and then spend all day not eating and then drinking literally like 20 million Coke Zeros filled with aspartame? So I'm gonna leave it there. And yeah, something to think about. And it's okay if you don't like this message. It's okay if you unsubscribe. It doesn't really bother me. But I would like to think that there's people who are searching and they're like, okay, yeah, something isn't working and I'm having a response or a reaction, and maybe I need to ask, just be curious. The point isn't to make people feel bad. And in my own life, I have a Virgo rising. I can be super judgy and critical of myself all the fucking way. And now, when I catch myself doing very similar things and not getting the results, I have to, yeah, it's the kisses on the cheek. It's meant to be, it's not meant to be punitive. It's meant to be like, we want you to have the results. Your spirit team wants you to have the results. But 1 + 1 = 2. If you're going around saying 1 + 5 = 2, like, there's just certain things you can't, there's an order. There is a cosmological system, and most of that is just around truth. You gotta get honest with yourself, with others, and just get curious. Ask yourself questions. You don't even have to get into the answer, but at least ask the questions. And then ruminate. Be like that Queen of Swords. Okay, collective. Stay blessed, stay golden.